While global attention focuses on the fast-spreading COVID-19 epidemic, ratcheting US-China tensions in the South China Sea represents another rising threat to regional stability. The U.S. Pentagon announced last week that a Chinese warship fired a military-grade laser at US Navy P-8 surveillance aircraft while conducting a routine mission in the hotly contested maritime area. Known as dazzlers, such lasers can temporarily blind pilots by beaming powerful lights across vast distance and deep into aircraft cockpits up in the skies. China's Navy destroyers' actions were unsafe and unprofessional, the U.S. Pacific Fleet said in a statement. Weapons-grade lasers could potentially cause serious harm to aircrew and mariners, as well as ship and aircraft systems, the statement said. The Pentagon also took its fight to social media, with the U.S. Navy's official Instagram account accusing China of violating the code for unplanned encounters at sea, a multilateral agreement reached at the 2014 Western Pacific Naval Symposium to reduce the chance of an incident at sea. The Pentagon also warned China, "You don't want to play laser tag with us." Washington is expected to lodge a formal diplomatic complaint over the laser incident in coming days, according to news reports. It wouldn't be the first time. In 2018, US officials warned pilots that a Chinese airbase in Djibouti may have targeted its planes with military-grade laser beams, resulting in Washington making a formal diplomatic complaint to Beijing. The laser incident points to a potential new round of tit-for-tat provocations in the contested sea, where both China and the U.S. are locked in a heated competition for supremacy. Strategic analysts are now weighing whether wider US-China tensions, including in relation to their unresolved trade war and heated words and claims amid the China-borne virus crisis, could escalate in the South China Sea situation. China's latest provocation came against the backdrop of ramped-up freedom of navigation operations, FONOPs, in the maritime area, including maneuvers that China claims violated its sovereignty over various sea features it has transformed into full-fledged islands. Last year, the U.S. conducted a record high of 9 freedom FONOPs in the South China Sea, up from 5 in 2018 and 6 in 2017. In January, the USS Montgomery, an Independence-class littoral combat ship, conducted the first US FONOP of 2020, sailing within a few nautical miles of the China-claimed Fiery Cross Reef. Last month, the U.S. deployed the USS Wayne E. Meyer missile destroyer within 12 nautical miles of the Fiery Cross and Mischief Reefs, 2 of the largest artificially created islands in the sea. It was reportedly the first time that an American warship had challenged China's claims over the 2 land features in their surrounding waters in a single operation. Colonel Lee Hooman, spokesman for the People's Liberation Army, PLA, Southern Theater Command, lashed out at the U.S. for acting as a hegemony, in ignorance of international laws and rules. He warned the U.S. against such provocative actions to avoid any unpredictable incident. Our troops will take all necessary measures to resolutely defend national sovereignty and security and firmly safeguard the peace and stability in the South China Sea, the military spokesman added. The Pentagon, for its part, was quick to justify its latest FONOPs, which have steadily increased in frequency under President Donald Trump's administration. Rhianne Momsen, a spokeswoman for the U.S. 7th Fleet, maintained that all operations are designed in accordance with international law and demonstrate that the United States will fly, sail and operate wherever international law allows. In July 2016, an arbitral tribunal at The Hague constituted under the aegis of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, invalidated China's so-called 9-line map, which effectively lays claim to as much as 90% of the South China Sea. The landmark ruling, which favored certain Philippine claims over China's in the South China Sea, also censured Beijing's expansive and ecologically damaging reclamation activities and coercive actions in the maritime area. China has refused to abide by the ruling, which lacked an enforcement mechanism. The U.S., meanwhile, maintains that its FONOPs are consistent with the UNCLOS and the Arbitral Tribunal's international law-based verdict. By sailing within 12 nautical miles of the artificially created islands, The Pentagon is directly challenging China's ownership of the contested features in their surrounding waters and resources. At the same time, there are signs Washington is becoming increasingly worried by China's rapidly rising military might and the fast-rising cost of countering and containing its maritime ambitions. The stakes of the challenge of conflict with China are formidable, said Chancellor Bragia, the U.S.'s Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for China. This is a long-term process. We have to be agile, smart. Testifying in February before the U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission, the Pentagon official maintained that the U.S. needs to build and deploy a more lethal, resilient joint force to counter China's rising military capabilities. Growing frictions with longtime allies are adding to America's strategic worries.